You thought you knew everything about Graceland, but what if I told you the truth has been hidden for decades? In an exclusive reveal, Elvis's granddaughter, Riley Keough, finally opens up about the secrets of Graceland. She exposes why the legendary mansion is off-limits to fans and the shocking reasons why the truth has remained a mystery for so long. And what's next for Riley? Is she stepping into her own legacy or charting her own path forward? If you call yourself an Elvis fan but aren't subscribed, are you even a real fan? Hit that button and prove it. After Elvis's passing in 1977, this tradition continued, primarily due to the wishes of his daughter, Lisa Marie Presley. Having spent much of her childhood at Graceland, Lisa Marie had deeply personal memories of time spent upstairs with her father. She was only 9 years old when he died and was in her bedroom at Graceland on the night he passed away. The trauma of that event, coupled with her strong emotional attachment to those private spaces, led her to insist that the upstairs remain undisturbed. When Graceland was opened to the public in 1982 under the direction of Presley Presley, the decision was made to keep the second floor off-limits. Over the years, despite increasing public curiosity, Lisa Marie remained firm in her stance that this part of the house should never become part of the tour. Now, with Lisa Marie's daughter, Riley Keough, overseeing the estate, she has vowed to uphold the tradition, ensuring that Elvis's private quarters remain just that, private. Though few have ever seen it in person, details about the second floor of Graceland have emerged over the years. Originally, the upstairs contained 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. However, Elvis made several modifications to suit his lifestyle, transforming some of the rooms into functional spaces for his personal use. Elvis's bedroom and bathroom. The most famous space on the second floor is, of course, Elvis's master suite, which remains frozen in time just as it was on the day he died. His bedroom, which reportedly features a large king-size bed with black satin sheets, was designed to his exact preferences. His adjoining bathroom, where he tragically passed away, also remains untouched. The details of this room have been closely guarded, adding to the mystery surrounding the upstairs area. Lisa Marie's bedroom. Located diagonally across from her father's room, Lisa Marie's childhood bedroom was once occupied by Minnie Mae Presley, Elvis's grandmother. After Lisa Marie was born in 1968, the room was converted into her nursery, and Minnie Mae was moved downstairs. Given Lisa Marie's strong connection to her father, it's no surprise that she chose to keep this area private. Elvis's wardrobe room. One of the bedrooms on the left side of the house was converted into a wardrobe room where Elvis stored many of his famous outfits, including his elaborate jumpsuits. Elvis's office. The bedroom in the back right corner of the house was repurposed as an office where Elvis would handle personal matters, read fan mail, and make phone calls. Guest bathrooms. In addition to the bathrooms used by Elvis and Lisa Marie, there was a third bathroom upstairs, designated for Elvis's girlfriends or wife at the time. The layout of the second floor was designed for convenience, including a private staircase leading directly into the kitchen. This allowed Elvis to grab a late-night snack without having to walk through the more public areas of the home. There are 2 main reasons why the upstairs of Graceland remains off-limits: privacy and logistical challenges. The primary reason for keeping the upstairs private is to respect Elvis's legacy and the wishes of his family. Lisa Marie Presley always viewed the second floor as sacred ground, a space filled with personal memories that should remain undisturbed. Even after her passing in 2023, Riley Keough has upheld this sentiment, ensuring that Elvis's bedroom and bathroom remain untouched. Unlike the rest of Graceland, which has been carefully curated for public viewing, the second floor has never been staged or altered for tourists. Everything remains exactly as it was when Elvis last lived there, making it one of the most intimate and preserved aspects of his life. The family has expressed a strong desire to keep it that way, rather than turning it into another exhibit. Beyond the emotional and personal reasons, there are also practical challenges that make opening the second floor to the public nearly impossible. According to the official Graceland guidebook, the layout of the upstairs hallway and rooms is not conducive to handling large groups of visitors. Unlike the spacious downstairs rooms, the upstairs is much more compact, with narrow hallways that would make crowd control difficult. Additionally, Graceland receives hundreds of thousands of visitors each year, Accommodating such a high volume of people upstairs would require significant modifications to the original structure, including widening hallways and adding safety measures. Since the Presley estate is committed to preserving Graceland as close to its original state as possible, making such drastic changes is out of the question. Furthermore, there are security concerns. The upstairs area houses some of Elvis's most personal belongings, including his wardrobe, books, and furniture. Allowing public access would increase the risk of damage or theft. By keeping the second floor private, the estate ensures that these items remain preserved exactly as Elvis left them. The decision to keep the upstairs at Graceland off-limits is a combination of respect for Elvis's legacy and practical concerns. While many fans would love the opportunity to see the space where the king of rock and roll spent his most private moments, it is unlikely that this area will ever be open to the public. Instead, it remains a time capsule of Elvis's final years, known only to a select few who have been granted access over the decades. For those who had the rare privilege of spending time upstairs at Graceland, the space was more than just a part of the house. It was where Elvis could truly be himself. Unlike the grand, carefully decorated rooms downstairs, the upstairs was his personal retreat, where he felt most comfortable and at peace. Lisa Marie Presley often spoke about the deep emotional connection she had to the second floor. She described it as a place of warmth and closeness where she spent cherished moments alone with her father. In a 2012 interview, she reflected on what it felt like to return to Graceland as an adult. "I'm always really happy when I'm here. It always reminds me of when I was the happiest in my life. It just brings me right back to that time." Lisa Marie was just 9 years old when she lost her father, and she was actually inside Graceland the night he passed away. In a later interview, she recalled the heartbreaking moment she realized something was wrong. "I was in my room, which was right next to his bathroom, so I knew something was very wrong. I could hear the commotion, and I was a wreck. I was a mess, but I was also confused because I was so upset before." These deeply personal memories played a major role in her decision to keep the upstairs private. To Lisa Marie, this was not just another part of the house. It was a sacred place where she could still feel her father's presence. Her daughter, Riley Keough, also shared fond memories of visiting Graceland as a child. Unlike tourists who see the mansion as a museum, Riley experienced it as a home, filled with family gatherings and traditions. She recalled how, during her visits, the house was full of life with relatives and cousins running around. One of her most vivid memories was her mother taking her through the kitchen and telling her to go say hello to Aunt Delta, Elvis's aunt, who lived in Graceland until her passing in 1993. Elvis's Aunt Delta was a unique character in the Presley family. She moved into Graceland in 1967 and remained there even after Elvis's death. She once recalled how, after her husband suffered a heart attack, Elvis insisted that she move into the mansion permanently. She stayed there for over 25 years, looking after Elvis's beloved dog Edmund. After his passing, while the upstairs remains untouched, the downstairs of Graceland has gone through multiple transformations over the decades. Elvis had a bold sense of style and was never afraid to experiment with interior design. His taste evolved throughout the years, reflecting different eras of his life and career. One of the most dramatic changes came in the early 1970s when Elvis's girlfriend, Linda Thompson, was given free rein to redecorate several rooms. She worked with local Memphis designer William Eubanks to transform the pool room and TV room, giving them a distinctive 1970s flair. Linda also played a role in designing the now famous Jungle Room, which was originally just Elvis's den. She later recalled how Elvis wanted the room to feel like a lush Hawaiian retreat, complete with green shag carpeting on the floors, walls, and even the ceiling. "He was like a little boy in so many ways. He told me, 'Honey, I want to feel like there's moss growing on the floor, up the walls, and on the ceiling.' And I said, 'Okay, you got it.'" The most controversial change, however, was the switch to a bold red color scheme in the living room and dining room. Before 1974, these rooms featured a classic blue and white design, but Linda worked with Eubanks to bring in heavy red draperies, deep red carpeting, and dramatic gold accents. Though the look was undeniably striking, not everyone approved, including Elvis himself. Elvis's Aunt Delta later revealed that after the red decor was installed, Elvis wasn't completely satisfied with the outcome. Elvis really didn't like all that red after it was put up. He started using the back stairs so he didn't have to see it. Despite his mixed feelings, Elvis kept the red theme until his passing. When Graceland was opened as a museum in 1982, Priscilla Presley made the decision to restore the living room to its original blue and white aesthetic, closer to how it looked when Elvis first moved in. Many fans debate whether the house should have been preserved in its 1970s state, reflecting Elvis's final years, or if the restoration to its earlier design was the right call. Regardless, certain rooms, like the Jungle Room, have remained almost exactly as they were when Elvis last lived there. The secrecy surrounding the upstairs at Graceland, the personal memories tied to the space, and the ever-changing decor of the mansion all point to several major themes in Elvis's story and legacy. Elvis Presley was one of the most famous people in the world, yet he craved privacy more than anything. The contrast between his highly public life and the personal sanctuary of the upstairs floor highlights his need for a retreat from fame. Even at the height of his career, he kept his private quarters off limits, reinforcing the idea that this was where he could truly relax and be himself. The decision to keep the upstairs closed to the public even after his death shows a continued respect for that privacy. For Lisa Marie Presley, Riley Keough, and other members of the Presley family, Graceland was not just a historic site, it was home. The deep emotional connection they have to the mansion, particularly the upstairs, is a reminder that beyond the legend of Elvis, there was a real family that lived, loved, and experienced loss within those walls. Elvis Presley's personal style and taste in home decor evolved dramatically over the years, reflecting not only changing design trends, but also his shifting lifestyle, artistic influences, and personal preferences. Graceland, his beloved Memphis home, served as a canvas where he expressed his unique vision of luxury, comfort, and self-indulgence. From the understated elegance of the 1950s to the bold, extravagant designs of the 1970s, the transformation of Graceland mirrored the different phases of Elvis's life. His rise to fame, his years as a Hollywood star, his deepening connection to spirituality, and his final years as a music icon. When Elvis purchased Graceland in 1957 at the age of 22, he was already one of the most famous young artists in the world. His early style was heavily influenced by the refined, polished aesthetic of the 1950s, a time when mid-century modern design and Hollywood glamour were at their peak. At this stage in his life, Elvis was still a Southern boy at heart, but he had also been exposed to the luxurious lifestyles of movie stars and musicians in Los Angeles, inspiring him to create a home that balanced elegance with comfort. In its earliest years, Graceland's decor was characterized by soft neutral tones, sleek furniture, and classic symmetry. The living room featured blue draperies and a white couch, reflecting a clean and sophisticated aesthetic. The music room, which housed one of Elvis's beloved pianos, maintained a similarly refined look. The house was designed to impress guests, but it also had a sense of warmth and homeliness that made it clear this was where Elvis could relax with his family and closest friends. The influence of Elvis's mother, Gladys Presley, was also evident in the early decor. She preferred a more traditional, homey feel, and during her lifetime, Graceland retained a somewhat modest charm despite Elvis's rising fortune. However, after her passing in 1958, Elvis began making bolder design choices, marking the beginning of Graceland's gradual transformation. As Elvis's career continued to skyrocket throughout the 1960s, so did his desire to customize Graceland to fit his evolving lifestyle. By this time, he had completed his military service and returned to Hollywood, starring in a string of blockbuster films that increased both his fame and wealth. With more resources at his disposal, Elvis began incorporating flashier and more opulent elements into his home. During this decade, Graceland's interior saw the introduction of gold and jewel-toned accents, which added a regal touch to the home. The famous music room, for example, featured an ornate, gold-plated grand piano, a symbol of Elvis's growing status and artistic success. He also added mirrored walls in some areas, creating a sense of space and grandeur, while amplifying the visual impact of his lavish furniture and decor. One of the most notable additions during the 1960s was the TV room, which became one of Elvis's favorite places to unwind. He had multiple televisions installed so he could watch several channels at once, reportedly inspired by President Lyndon B. Johnson, who did the same in the White House. The room's design was sleek yet playful, featuring vibrant colors and futuristic elements that reflected Elvis's fascination with technology and entertainment. Another major change in the 1960s was Elvis's increasing interest in spirituality and exotic cultures, which influenced the decor of certain areas in Graceland. He developed a deep appreciation for Hawaiian and Asian-inspired designs, which would later be reflected in one of Graceland's most famous rooms, the Jungle Room. By the 1970s, Elvis's personal style had fully evolved into something uniquely his own. Gone were the subtle elegance and classic Hollywood influences of the 1950s. Elvis was now fully embracing a bold, extravagant aesthetic that blended rock and roll energy with eccentric design choices. One of the most infamous changes to Graceland came in 1974 when his then-girlfriend Linda Thompson helped him redecorate the living and dining rooms in a striking red color scheme. This dramatic transformation replaced the previous blue and white aesthetic with deep red draperies, plush red carpeting, and gold accents. The change divided opinions even among those closest to Elvis. Elvis's Aunt Delta later recalled that Elvis was initially unsure about the new red design. Elvis really didn't like all that red after it was put up. He started using the back stairs so he didn't have to see it. Despite his mixed feelings about the red decor, he left it in place until his passing in 1977. When Graceland was opened as a museum in 1982, Presley Presley made the decision to remove the red theme and restore the living and dining rooms to a more classic blue and white look, closer to what was originally in place when Elvis moved in. Perhaps the most iconic example of Elvis's evolving taste in the 1970s was the Jungle Room. Originally intended to be just a cozy den, the room became an over-the-top tropical retreat inspired by Elvis's love of Hawaii. He filled it with Polynesian-style furniture, tiki carvings, and deep green shag carpeting, not just on the floors, but also on the walls and ceiling. Linda Thompson later recalled how Elvis explained his vision for the room. He said, "Honey, I want to feel like there's moss growing on the floor, up the walls, and on the ceiling." I thought he was joking, but he was dead serious. The Jungle Room was not just for show, it was a space where Elvis spent countless hours relaxing, playing music, and entertaining friends. In fact, it was in this very room that he recorded some of his final songs, turning it into an impromptu recording studio. Even decades after his passing, Elvis's unique sense of style continues to inspire fans, designers, and pop culture. The rooms in Graceland, particularly the Jungle Room and the TV Room, have become cultural landmarks referenced in movies, documentaries, and even modern interior design trends that embrace retro aesthetics. While some may see his later design choices as excessive, they were a true reflection of his personality, larger than life, daring, and unapologetically original. Graceland was not just a house to Elvis. It was an extension of his creative spirit, a place where he could indulge in his passions, express his love for music and culture, and retreat from the pressures of fame. Today, as visitors walk through the halls of Graceland, they can still see the many layers of Elvis's evolving style, from the refined elegance of the 1950s to the rock and roll extravagance of the 1970s. Each room tells a story, offering a glimpse into the mind of a man who was constantly reinventing himself, both as an artist and as a person. One of the ongoing debates about Graceland is whether it should remain exactly as Elvis left it or continue to evolve as a museum. While Presley Presley's 1982 restorations honored the home's original aesthetic, some argue that the 1970s decor should have been preserved to better represent Elvis's final years. The fact that the upstairs has remained untouched adds another layer to this debate. Should it ever be open to the public, or should it remain a private family space forever? The mystery of Graceland's upstairs is part of what keeps Elvis Presley's legacy so fascinating. While fans may never get a glimpse beyond the famous staircase, the stories, memories, and evolving decor of the mansion continue to paint a vivid picture of the man behind the music. Whether it's the Jungle Room, the iconic white and blue living room, or the private sanctuary upstairs, every inch of Graceland tells a story, one that will continue to captivate fans for generations to come. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Riley Keough, sharing her plans for Graceland as the actress fulfills a promise to her mother, Lisa Marie Presley, to publish her memoir.
Riley Keough, Elvis Presley's oldest granddaughter, steps into the spotlight as the new matriarch of the Presley family following the tragic passing of her mother, Lisa Marie Presley. With the weight of her family's legacy on her shoulders, Riley's journey is one of reflection, responsibility, and a deep connection to the past. But how will she carry forward the Presley legacy while navigating the challenges of Graceland and the world of Elvis Presley-related projects? Riley Keough's life took a monumental turn following the death of her mother, Lisa Marie Presley. At the heart of this transformation is her new position as the sole trustee of Graceland, a responsibility that would have been unimaginable just a few years ago. With her mother's passing, Riley became the guardian of the Presley legacy, entrusted with overseeing the historic home of Elvis Presley and managing the affairs of one of the most famous estates in the world. As the matriarch of the Presley family, Riley finds herself deeply involved with the preservation of Graceland's future. The role comes with significant challenges, not least because of the enormous cultural and financial significance of the estate. Graceland is not just a home, it's a monument to Elvis Presley's life and music, attracting millions of visitors from around the world each year. As trustee, Riley's primary goal is to ensure that the legacy of Elvis Presley remains intact, while also navigating the complex web of business interests tied to the estate. Riley's role extends beyond just managing Graceland. She is also responsible for continuing the Presley family's involvement in various Elvis Presley-related projects. In a notable example of this new responsibility, Riley took on the role of executive producer and host of the Christmas at Graceland special. The program, which was filmed at Graceland and aired in November 2023, was a massive success. The special, which brought together elements of Christmas tradition with the magic of Elvis Presley's legacy, became an instant hit with fans and viewers alike. With strong ratings of 5.2 million viewers, the Christmas at Graceland special was praised not only for its festive charm, but also for its ability to retain a family-friendly atmosphere. Riley's presence as both the producer and the host brought a personal touch to the event, offering fans a rare glimpse into her life and the ways in which she keeps her family's traditions alive. The success of the program was a testament to her ability to step into the public eye while maintaining a balance between the preservation of family heritage and the demand for modern entertainment. While Riley navigates the intricacies of her new role, she remains deeply connected to the essence of Graceland itself. The iconic mansion has long been a symbol of family for the Presley clan, and Riley continues to hold close the memories and traditions that make it a place of warmth and connection rather than simply a museum. She sees herself not just as a steward of a building, but as a keeper of the values and personal history that Graceland represents. For Riley, Graceland is not just a place of business, it's a home filled with vivid memories of her childhood. Long before she took on the monumental responsibility of managing the estate, Graceland was a place where she, her mother, and their extended family gathered to celebrate holidays, share meals, and connect with one another. These memories are cherished deeply, and Riley often reflects on how different Graceland felt to her as a child. Christmas time in particular holds a special place in Riley's heart. She recalls how Graceland transformed into a winter wonderland each holiday season. The mansion, decked out in festive decorations, became the backdrop for family gatherings and intimate celebration. For Riley, these holidays were not about the fame and grandeur associated with the Presley name. They were about family traditions, warmth, and the simple joys of being together. Unlike the public perception of Graceland as a museum, Riley remembers it as a place where she could be with her loved one, eat home-cooked meals, and enjoy the comfort of family rather than the pressure of public scrutiny. Her fondest memories include family dinners, where Southern comfort foods filled the table and the laughter of loved ones echoed throughout the house. Riley often speaks of these moments with a sense of nostalgia and reverence, expressing a deep desire to continue those traditions for her own children. The Christmas special she produced was in part an effort to bring some of that familial warmth back to Graceland and share it with a wider audience. It was a reminder that, at its core, Graceland is more than just a tourist destination. It's a place of connection, love, and memory. In the years following her mother's passing, Riley has expressed a desire to revive some of the old traditions that made Graceland feel like home. She talks about how she hopes to bring back the family dinners that once took place at the estate, a time when the Presley family could gather around the table and share stories, laughter, and food in the intimate setting of their own home. For Riley, it's important to preserve that energy, the sense of closeness and family that defined her upbringing amid the demands of public life. As she takes on more responsibility within the Presley family, Riley finds herself reflecting on how she can maintain that balance of family-oriented traditions while also fulfilling her duties as the steward of a global legacy. Graceland may be a public place, but to Riley it will always be a home filled with memories that she hopes to continue sharing with her own family, just as her mother did before her. These personal reflections highlight the importance of preserving family bonds and traditions, even as the weight of responsibility continues to grow. For Riley, Graceland is not just a business. It's the place where her family's heart resides, and it's her mission to ensure that its legacy is passed down with love, respect, and authenticity for generations to come. Riley Keough's connection to Elvis Presley runs deep, not just because of her family heritage, but also due to the profound impact Elvis had on her life from a young age. As the oldest granddaughter of the King of Rock and Roll, Riley has always carried the weight of this extraordinary legacy. But rather than feeling burdened by it, Riley embraces her relationship with Elvis as an integral part of her identity, a key thread that runs through her personal and professional life. Riley's memories of her grandfather are laced with both admiration and reverence. She often speaks of Elvis not as the legendary musician the world knows, but as a kind, loving, and deeply Southern gentleman. To Riley, Elvis was more than the icon who changed the course of music history. He was a family member, a father figure to her mother, Lisa Marie Presley, and a doting grandfather to her. She recalls stories of his generous spirit, his unyielding kindness, and the warmth that he radiated when he was with his family. As a child, Riley witnessed firsthand the ways in which Elvis's personality and love for his family shaped their experiences. Elvis's life was far from ordinary, and the world's perception of him as the larger-than-life legend often contrasts with the private family moments that Riley cherishes. To her, Elvis was always the Southern boy who came from humble beginnings and achieved greatness beyond anyone's wildest dreams. But what stands out the most to Riley is not just his fame, but the essence of who he was. Someone whose genuine love for family, music, and his roots became an enduring part of his legacy. One of the most touching elements of Riley's bond with Elvis is the way in which she has carried forward the Presley family legacy with a sense of personal duty. Her daughter, Tupelo, is named after Elvis's birthplace, Tupelo, Mississippi, a gesture that embodies the continued connection to Elvis's roots and serves as a living tribute to his life and legacy. Riley's decision to name her daughter Tupelo speaks volumes about the importance of maintaining family traditions and passing them down to the next generation. For Riley, Tupelo's name is not just a nod to a place, it's a way to honor the man whose influence still reverberates within the Presley family. As Riley reflects on what it means to be part of the Presley bloodline, she sees it as both a privilege and a responsibility. Tupelo's name serves as a reminder that the Presley legacy will continue through her, and the connection to Elvis will live on, carried forward by the new generation. As Riley navigates the complexities of managing Graceland, working with Elvis Presley Enterprises, EPE, and balancing her personal life, she remains grounded in the lessons she learned from Elvis. The Presley name may be synonymous with fame and fortune, but at its core, Riley knows that the true value of the family legacy lies in the love, loyalty, and unity that Elvis instilled in his descendants. By continuing to honor his memory, Riley is helping to ensure that his legacy remains as vibrant and relevant today as it was when he first rose to stardom. Beyond the glittering world of entertainment and the pressures of managing Graceland, Riley Keough has always believed in the importance of giving back to the community and using her family's platform for good. It's a value she learned from her mother, Lisa Marie Presley, who was deeply committed to philanthropy and social causes. Riley carries that same sense of responsibility, understanding that as a member of the Presley family, she has the opportunity and the obligation to make a meaningful impact. One of the most notable examples of Riley's involvement in philanthropy is her participation in Presley Place, a housing initiative in Memphis that was founded by Lisa Marie Presley in 2000. Presley Place provides transitional housing for homeless families and is a crucial part of the efforts to combat homelessness in Memphis. Riley often reflects on her own experience attending the groundbreaking of Presley Place with her mother and brother Ben as children. It was a powerful moment that shaped her understanding of the impact they could have on the lives of others. As Riley takes on more responsibilities as the matriarch of the Presley family, she's become increasingly involved with Presley Place and other community initiatives in Memphis. She recognizes the importance of continuing the work that her mother started, especially in providing for those in need. For Riley, these efforts are about more than just charity. They are about building a legacy of compassion, hope, and positive change, values that are integral to the Presley family ethos. Riley's dedication to giving back is also reflected in her personal life. She often speaks of the importance of community and the role that family and relationships play in sustaining meaningful change. By involving herself in charitable initiatives and causes that align with her values, Riley ensures that the Presley family's impact extends beyond the confines of Graceland and the entertainment industry. Her work with Presley Place is just one example of how Riley is carrying on the philanthropic traditions of her mother and her grandfather Elvis Presley. For Riley, philanthropy is not just about writing checks, it's about being present, getting involved, and using her influence to create a positive ripple effect in the world. Whether it's supporting housing initiatives, advocating for social justice, or contributing to causes that promote equality and opportunity, Riley remains committed to making a difference just as her mother and grandfather did before her. As the Presley family's role in the entertainment world continues to evolve, Riley's commitment to philanthropy and community service serves as a reminder that their legacy is about much more than fame and fortune. It's about the enduring power of family, love, and giving back to the community, a legacy that Riley is determined to carry forward for generations to come. With the passing of Lisa Marie Presley, Riley Keough has taken on a pivotal role within the Presley family business. This responsibility is vast, as it encompasses not only the management of Graceland, but also the future of the Presley name and its legacy across various ventures. Her role has expanded beyond that of a family member and into the realm of business leadership, where decisions about Graceland's future, Elvis Presley Enterprises, EPE, and other family affairs now rest largely in her hands. Riley has navigated this transition with a combination of grace, determination, and a deep understanding of the history that she now has the privilege and responsibility to protect. Her brother Benjamin, who passed away tragically, was once meant to share in these duties, and Riley has had to shoulder this enormous burden in his absence. With the support of her younger sisters, who are still minors, Riley has found herself as the de facto leader of the Presley family, guiding not only the legacy but the family's future trajectory in an ever-changing landscape. One of the most significant aspects of Riley's new role is her involvement in Graceland's management. As trustee, she has the final say in matters regarding the estate, ensuring that the property remains not only a historical landmark, but a living, breathing testament to the Presley family's journey. Graceland is not just a museum, it's a cultural touchstone, attracting millions of visitors from all over the world, and Riley understands the immense responsibility of preserving the home while maintaining its relevance for future generations. The mansion is more than just a symbol of Elvis Presley's musical legacy. It's where the Presley family has forged its own identity and legacy over decades. As part of her role, Riley also oversees the business dealings of Elvis Presley Enterprises, the company that manages the rights to Elvis's music, image, and brand. EPE has been a vital component of the Presley family's financial success for decades, but it has also faced challenges along the way. One of the most notable events in EPE's history was its sale to CKX Inc. in 2005 and later to Authentic Brands Group, ABG, in 2013. These transitions marked a new era for the Presley family's business dealings, with Riley being brought in as a trusted figure to ensure that the Presley legacy was respected and that their interests were properly managed. Riley's understanding of the complexities of business is rooted in her close involvement with the operations of both Graceland and EPE. She is frequently in discussions with executives and consultants about the future of the Presley brand, exploring new ways to keep Elvis's influence alive through various media, merchandise, and entertainment platforms. However, Riley's decisions are never solely driven by profit. They are shaped by her respect for her family's history and the desire to preserve their story for future generations. Whether it's negotiating licensing agreements, overseeing the release of Elvis's music, or ensuring that new visitors to Graceland receive an authentic experience, Riley is deeply committed to keeping her grandfather's legacy intact. Through her work with Graceland and EPE, Riley's leadership has been instrumental in continuing the Presley family's involvement in the entertainment world. She has also been keen on bringing fresh perspectives to the business, incorporating modern ideas and innovations while staying true to the essence of what Elvis Presley represents. She recognizes that while times change, the core values of the Presley family, love for music, family, and authenticity, must remain at the forefront of everything they do. Riley's new role is both challenging and rewarding as she works tirelessly to navigate the intersection of family, business, and public life. With the eyes of the world on her, Riley is poised to lead the Presley family into the future while honoring the past. As Riley Keough steps into the future of the Presley family legacy, one of her most significant responsibilities is ensuring that Graceland, the Presley estate, continues to thrive. The mansion, once the home of Elvis Presley and his family, now stands as a global symbol of rock and roll history, attracting tourists from every corner of the world. However, it is more than just a tourist destination. It is the heart of the Presley family legacy, and Riley knows that its future must be handled with the utmost care and respect. Graceland is not just a property, it is a testament to the life and career of Elvis Presley, and by extension, the entire Presley family. As such, Riley is deeply involved in making decisions regarding the future of Graceland, ensuring that it remains a vibrant and meaningful place for future generations to visit and experience. She is focused on preserving the authenticity of Graceland while modernizing certain aspects to cater to the needs of today's visitors. This balancing act is no easy feat, but Riley is determined to keep the spirit of Elvis Presley alive while adapting the estate for a new era. One of Riley's primary goals is to make sure that Graceland remains a place where visitors can connect not just with the history of Elvis Presley, but with the Presley family as well. She wants to ensure that visitors can experience Graceland as more than just a museum. It should feel like a home, a place where they can sense the legacy of Elvis and his family. This is especially important to Riley, who grew up visiting Graceland with her family and has always seen it as a deeply personal place. She believes that this personal connection to the estate is what makes Graceland special and sets it apart from other landmarks. In addition to preserving the physical structure of Graceland, Riley is also deeply invested in maintaining the integrity of the Presley name. As the business side of Elvis Presley Enterprises, EPE, continues to evolve, Riley is determined to keep the Presley stamp intact. She is actively involved in ensuring that decisions made about EPE remain in line with the family's values and vision. While the Presley family's business dealings have shifted over the years, with major changes such as the sale of rights to CKX in 2005 and the subsequent acquisition by Authentic Brands Group in 2013, Riley is committed to making sure that the legacy of Elvis Presley is never compromised. Riley's involvement with EPE goes beyond just ensuring that the business side of things runs smoothly. She is also deeply concerned with the artistic and cultural impact of Elvis's music, image, and story. In today's entertainment landscape, it is essential to continue evolving while staying true to the essence of what made Elvis Presley the legend he became. Riley works closely with EPE to ensure that new projects, whether they involve music releases, film projects, or merchandising, stay true to the spirit of Elvis while appealing to contemporary audiences. Looking ahead, Riley is committed to involving future generations of the Presley family in the management of Graceland and the legacy of Elvis Presley. She recognizes that the responsibility of keeping the family's legacy alive will eventually pass to her own children, and she is keen to instill in them the values and history that have been so important to her. Through her leadership, Riley hopes to ensure that the Presley legacy endures for years to come, with future generations continuing to preserve the music, history, and family ties that have made Elvis Presley a cultural icon. For Riley, the future of Graceland and the Presley name is not just about maintaining a historic property or capitalizing on a famous brand. It's about ensuring that the legacy of Elvis Presley and all that he stood for continues to inspire and influence new generations of fans, musicians, and families. Through her work, Riley is laying the foundation for the Presley family's legacy to continue to thrive, staying true to the values of love, music, and family that have always defined it. Riley Keough has stepped into the role of matriarch of the Presley family with a deep sense of responsibility and respect for the legacy she's inherited. As the trustee of Graceland and a leader within the Presley family business, she ensures that both the estate and Elvis Presley's cultural impact continue to thrive. Through her leadership, Riley preserves the essence of Graceland and the Presley name, balancing tradition with modern growth. Her commitment to honoring her family's history, including their philanthropic efforts, ensures that the Presley legacy endures for future generations. Riley's work today guarantees that the story of Elvis Presley and the values of the Presley family remain a lasting and inspiring part of cultural history. If you enjoyed learning about Riley Keough's journey and the lasting legacy of the Presley family, make sure to subscribe for more updates and insights. Stay connected and never miss a story. Join us as we continue to explore the fascinating world of family legacies and cultural icons.